Hello? Hello?
Hello, hello. Uh, Thank you for the amazing lecture. I'm Eugene from Ultimate Guitar, and we also experiment a lot with different things. We do a lot of experiments, and I have a question for you. It's a little bit messed up, but how do you know when to stop experimenting? And maybe you have any metrics or numbers that you look at, and you understand that it's time to stop and just begin another experiment. Thank you.
Yeah, that's a really good question, and I think one that we grapple with a lot. There's certain projects that we have. So, say we make something and we ship it into the world. At that point, and we like it. So at that point, we've got kind of a stable feature, and what we can start doing is optimizing it. So when we experiment, we do have metrics that we can measure against at that point. And understand if this experiment is successful or not successful based on some metrics that we want to hit. And so those are kind of easy ones to answer. I think the harder ones to answer are in the early phases, the concepting phases of products, where you're trying to understand how do we know when we have something that we like is kind of the question, right? At what point do we stop because we think that we've answered all the questions? And so what we really try to do well is develop a problem statement. So when we think about problem statements, we think about, and we spend so long, it's kind of crazy, right? It's like 1 or 2 sentences, and it contains every kind of implicit piece of the experience that you want to achieve, right? And so you come up with these problem statements that are like, users should, I'm trying to think of one off the top of my head, for highlights, like let's say, so early on before highlights, right? When that's actually an answer, that's a solution to a kind of an opportunity. It's a specific solution, and there's millions of solutions, right? And so the thing that we try to do is for the opportunity form a problem statement that is very succinct and very kind of dialed in, so that when we actually come up with solutions, we can evaluate, do those solutions meet that criteria of the problem statement? So for the problem statement, it might be something like, users should be able to quickly, easily, and meaningfully give feedback to authors. That could be a problem statement, right?
Yeah.
And then we can come up with 10 experimental solutions to that, and we can always evaluate, does that answer that
Можно это задать быстренько.
It's kind of a fuzzy project, like a process, but you start to develop an intuition for those statements and whether or not you're actually hitting them, and start asking deeper questions within that.
Thank you very much. And how much time does it take for you to do this? Or I know it's weird.
Yeah. Again, I think it depends on the project. Some of them are feature level projects, so like highlighting was a pretty quick project in terms of going from we should have in between, we should have a way that users can give feedback to actual. It took a while, like the concept, a couple of weeks, getting from kind of paragraph level, maybe a week, getting from paragraph level down to freeform drawing, and maybe another week to kind of go back to the level of fidelity of selection that we wanted. And then it's a lot, it's like, the 80-20 rule where we get 80% of the way and 20% of the time, and then we spend 80% of the time polishing the 20% of the experience.
Yeah.
So it varies per project. That's a feature level. Sometimes you might do bigger. You're launching kind of like a larger systemic rethink of a platform, and that scales months instead of a week or 2.
Okay. Thank you very much.